Are we as humanity concerned with the way people have been treating the environment in today's world? Everyone who is living on this earth uses its resources one way or another. Most of us drive or go to the store to buy food or products. The way our environment is doing is vital to each and every one of us because we need it to sustain life. I have heard the news and read many articles on how the environment is getting destroyed by the way society has been treating it. I do my part by buying products with less plastic or using reusable bags or water bottles. I also hope to run a business one day that helps the environment out by using less waste and more biodegradable items. I will be talking about how human activity has been negatively affecting the environment, how political leaders are making decisions to protect the environment, or are not making decisions to protect the environment, and how we as humans help the planet and possibly reverse some of the damage. My first main point will be about how humans are negatively affecting the environment. There are many different ways that humans have been damaging the environment. It varies from greenhouse gases to pollution. In 2017, an article was written by Jonas Martonis named Effects of the Human Environment. He talked about how human activities such as driving a motor vehicle causes an increase in carbon dioxide that comes from using fossil fuels. Burning fossil fuels puts pollutants into the air such as sulfur dioxide, which causes acid rain. This rain makes lakes and soil more acidic, which in turn makes them lose their nutrients. Another harmful activity is the huge production of plastic. According to Adam Lipzig in his documentary A Plastic Ocean made in 2017, each year the world produces 300 million tons of plastic. 20 to 40% of that ends up in landfills, another 10 to 20% of that makes its way to the ocean. New technology has created materials that can stay active in our environment for thousands of years. Items such as grocery bags, CDs, and containers plaster the earth. Water pollution has also had a big impact on the environment. Oil spills and fertilizer runoff causes damage to the ecosystem. Almost 1 billion people in our world do not have access to clean and safe water due to these events. Farmers that use pesticides have contaminated nearly all of our streams and rivers that can poison the fish living in the water. In addition to pesticides, GMOs, or genetically modified organisms, also have a negative impact on the environment. GMOs are foods that are made to be insect resistant, virus resistant, or herbicide tolerant. Toxicity is inherent in these plants, which can be harmful to bees, and since bees are a big part of our pollination system and they are endangered, it could affect our crops. GMO plants create what's called a superweed, which does not occur naturally and may become invasive. GMs affect our natural plants because they give off toxins released in the soil and take away from their nutrients. Instead of planting more trees, people are cutting them down to build resorts and buildings. Deforestation threatens many lives and animals and their homes. In 2014, Joseph Demento wrote Climate Change and spoke on how removing trees also drives climate change because soil quickly dries out. Without protection from the sun, trees can also help with greenhouse gases by absorbing some of them. The greenhouse effect is when chemicals such as nitrogen oxides, carbon dioxide, and methane get trapped in Earth's lower atmosphere. They create increasing temperatures, ice caps, and rising sea levels. Overpopulation affects the environment because it means we need to use more and more resources to survive. This can damage our ecosystems by not having enough trees for oxygen. In Is Our Planet Full, published in 2014 by Ian Golden, he describes how humans need space for farmland or industries, and that means we're using more of the environment's resources. Now that I've spoken on the damage that can be caused, I will inform you on decisions our political leaders have made to cause more damage on the environment. My second main point is how the governments are moving backwards on positive environmental change. The Keystone Pipeline is a system that runs through Canada and the United States that would carry barrels of oil. The way it could affect the environment is because the risk of spillage. Since it is crude oil, it's thicker and more acidic. It carries more abrasive particles that are more corrosive to pipelines. The Paris Climate Agreement was made to adopt green energy sources, cut down on climate change emissions, and limit the rise of global temperatures. The problem is not within the climate agreement, it is some leaders of 3 countries that have decided to pull out of the agreement. It is bad for the environment to not be a part of it. We need to use this agreement as a way to fix what has been ruined for the future. If you decide to become eco-friendly, here's some information and tips on how to do so. My third main point contains facts on how to care for the planet. The first way that could be helpful is by taking shorter showers or shutting off the water when brushing our teeth. Another way to help the environment so that there is not so much waste is to use reusable water bottles and grocery bags. For example, today I brought a bar of soap that I bought with 0 plastic on it. Tons of plastic waste can easily be avoided each year by buying products with little to no plastic. By eating vegetables instead of processed food, it can help the environment because we won't be eating food that is genetically modified. If you want to be really ambitious, composting is a great way to help out. You can help the environment by fertilizing the soil instead of throwing away foods that end up in landfills. Lastly, by taking a different source of transportation, such as biking, walking, taking a bus, or even carpooling, this can lower emissions put into the Earth's atmosphere and lower the usage of fossil fuels. Overall, human activity has led to negative factors, but it can be fixed with positive actions. There are a lot of problems with the way people approach the environment, and the people who are in charge can make better choices to help, but there are also a ton of ways to help fix the problem. Fixing the way we care for the environment will be difficult, but there are simple ways we can all pitch in.